It's nighttime, and so you probably can hear me more than you see me at this point in time. But please hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. You can be happy. You deserve to be happy. I've heard people say, you can't be 100% happy. It's always going to be something. Always going to be something that's keeping you from being happy, or something you got to put up with, because that's just life. I don't believe that I was put here to be unhappy. I believe that in order for me to do what I'm doing right now, which is to tell you that you can be happy, is that I've got to find happiness myself and stay in that place. And what have I done to make myself happy? It's actually December 2019. It's the last month of the year, and we're going into 2020. And my family and I, we made a decision, to change our life. Like, not to just let life happen to us, but to make the changes that we needed to make to have the ultimate level of peace in our life. So what is peace to Shant'e? Peace to me is freedom. I'm always gonna work. I'm not somebody that is not gonna work. I'm gonna drop dead working. As long as I'm working on something that I love, that surrounds me and my purpose. So it did start with me finding out what my purpose is. And so that's something that you must do. If you don't work with me on a breakthrough session or breakthrough sessions to work on finding your purpose, then do it with somebody. If you haven't been able to do it with yourself, maybe even with a friend. Steve Harvey says to do what you do with little or no effort that people respond the greatest to. That's your purpose. So just think about it. When you listen to Steve Harvey's story, he told his teacher he wanted to be on TV, and she basically heckled him. And so now, as in his own words, you can't even turn on the station without seeing him on something. And so what I'm saying to you is, look at what happened with Steve Harvey from using his natural abilities and talents of being funny and being a host. So for anybody to say that you cannot be successful in a creative endeavor, Steve Harvey's story proves otherwise. And so many other people prove otherwise. I can remember being in school, and this is back in Chicago. I would watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I just knew that I wanted to be a talk show host, wanted to talk to people, wanted to encourage people, and that. So I started to look into that, what type of college education would I need, and I looked into journalism and communications and that. I waited till I was 30 to go back to school to get my college degree in education and communications and cultural studies. And I made a job for myself, in tourism, doing what I love to do, which is to study the culture of people and the history of their origins, and to teach those lessons to people that are also interested as I am. Go figure that. That girl that used to talk in class and that was told to be quiet all the time now talks for a living. And then my new project that I'm working on right now, because as a business owner, you must, and capitalize must, have more more than one source of income. Have more than one source of income. So we have a tour company, and we run historical tours. We also have a communications business where I work with corporate America on communications and cultural shifts and transformations and in the workplace and in business. I also work in personal development where I work with people on an individual basis. Right now, I work on a breakthrough, what I call a breakthrough session, 60 to 90 minutes to just know what your next step is going to be. Because sometimes it's not about you needing somebody to hold your hand, but you're just trying to figure out what your next step is going to be, and you can call them on an as needed basis. So that's what I do, and I do also speak to some people on a regular basis as well. But I've got multiple businesses, multiple sources of income. As of late, working in the Uber Lyft industry, because this is truly a business that allows you the most flexibility when you are in between projects or jobs and that whole deal. So you've got to have more than one source of income. Some people see a second job as a source of weakness, like, okay, why don't I make enough money on my first job, or why can't I do this with one job? Well, your first job could actually be paying you enough money. It's not that your other job is not paying you enough, but if you still got time in your day, or can figure out time in your day to make money in another avenue and still make money on what you're doing, then do that while you can. I actually had one of my clients, say to me that, they had worked and this was in corporate America for 35 years in a position that gave unlimited overtime, that most of the people never worked it unless it was mandatory. But he made it his business to work as many hours as he could, and now at his retirement age, he's able, to travel and to help his kids and things like that. So your extra sources of income are for your vacations, or for you to pay off that debt, or for you to start that new project. One thing that I have always done is take on another source of income if I've got something I'm working on. I don't want to dip into the house money, the kids' money, to try something new. I don't want to go into debt to try something new. If I can find a time in my day to do something extra and see if that's going to work for me, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So after seeing how successful Kevin was and working in Uber, I signed on, and I just love my freedom, and I want all of you guys to know that you can have freedom and peace in your life. But what you have to do is take a look at those things that are stressing you, and you got to figure out how to eliminate them. I'm a wife, a mother, a caregiver, and as I just stated, I have 3 businesses, 3 of them. How do you juggle all of that? It is so much more peaceful to juggle my lifestyle because I have the flexibility to do that. Can't juggle a lifestyle when you have to be someplace from 8 to 5. You have to be somewhere, or you're someplace you can't check your cell phone, or you're someplace where you can't take a day off. I had a contract where if I took a day off, I'd be so far behind when I came back that I'd just be, great contract, but the flexibility. So it's a Shant'e Reagan saying that you can be happy, you can be your own boss, you can be a contractor, that you've got to make some decisions to make some actual rock hard solid changes. It will be scary, but do it scared. Because if you are in a lack of peace and it's starting to affect your health and your well-being, you've got anxiety and depression and all of that, then you've got to do something. You've got to do something, not wait for something to happen, because it's just not. And Tony Robbins said it best in a YouTube where he said we get so stuck into our patterns. And here in the last 2 weeks, I'm saying we, but a lot of this stuff is going on in my own head, and I have to talk it over, with my husband and family and such. But I actually almost went back into an old pattern, like had got myself out of the pattern, and we had decided that we were going to do something different, and we're moving in that direction, and all of a sudden I started thinking about the things that I would have to do differently to implement that change. And basically I literally almost put back the old thing that we were doing, but moved it to a different location. And literally, during my morning meditations, I had to stop and think, like, wait a minute, that would actually be the same thing that you wanted out of, but it would be a different location that it would be in. And I had to literally catch myself and say, you are moving back into the pattern that you are familiar with. Thank goodness for the motivational speakers and the strategists who remind you that we're all human. So this is Shant'e Reagan talking about entrepreneurship, peace, and happiness, and that you can be happy. You can have the things that you want in your life. It don't matter to me if I do decide to work all day. This is my choice to do that. So like and subscribe to my channel, Shant'e Reagan Communications. Click the bell so that you can get notified when I upload a video. Give me a thumbs up. Talk to me in the comments. I would love to hear from you and respond whenever at all possible. My email address is shantereagan@gmail.com. Website is shantereagan.org. If you happen to want to be a Lyft driver, my invitation code to becoming a Lyft driver is in the comments. Sign yourself up. If you do 125 rides in 30 days, Lyft gives you a $1,000 sign-on bonus. So they're pretty aggressive, and that's my understanding of that sign-on bonus that Lyft has out right now at this time. So Shant'e Reagan talking about happiness, talking about being an Uber Lyft driver, talking about my other 2 businesses, talking about what you can do if you're stuck. Unstick yourself. So Shant'e Reagan, and I look forward to sharing my story and successes and the things that I've done. I look forward to hearing that you're successful and that things are changing in your life. And I'll talk with you soon.